Well, it's week 1 of the LTA with coverage brought to you by all of you. I'm joined right now by Vulcan after his match against Team Liquid. He is sick right now, and so I'm quarantining him on the other side of the shot. But thank you for doing the interview despite being sick.
Yeah, of course, no problem. I feel okay. It's just, I don't want to get anyone sick.
I hear there are 3 of the 5 members of your team that are sick.
Yeah, I think Loki recovered because he got it earlier than anyone else.
Okay.
Thanatos got it most recent, but he seemed fine today, so maybe he's chilling.
So are Blabber and Sven going to be sick, like, for the next match?
No, that's how we planned it out. Because we don't play next weekend, right? It's going to be the lower bracket matches.
So you're going to infect them?
We're going to infect them. I'm going to make sure that it happens.
Okay.
So they can be fine for the match. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Well, that's very courteous of you to help them out that way. Make sure that they're good. No, okay. So I thought going into this match, I was like, okay, Team Liquid is resurgent, and C9 just imploded on stage last week. And so I thought for sure that this was going to be, at the very least, a competitive match. If not, like, I really thought Team Liquid seemed favored. Obviously, I was overreacting to 1 week of matches, but how did you guys recover from last week? Because seemed like such a blowout.
Yeah, it did seem like it. I think game 1, we had really good chances to win against Fly.
Yeah.
But there's this one team fight where we didn't have to do anything that crazy, but we did something very crazy in a bad way in that one fight. And then after that, we doubled down and died some more to try to fight again. So like a chain of really bad decisions and bad play. And then after that, we kind of got stomped. But I think if we had played that team fight a little bit better, we would have just won the game really easily from there on out. So bad game 1, and then game 2. I don't know. I think our draft was really hard to play, and we didn't really do much, to get anything going. So we kind of got stomped. But I think it looked a lot worse than it could have looked, if that makes sense. I do think that Fly is you could probably say easily the best team right now. But yeah, I think that last week was just a one-off, and then I was not super confident because we had pretty bad scrims this week going into TL, but we locked in, and we don't think they're as insane as Fly. So
that was the other thing was I was going to bring it up, but since you mentioned it, I heard scrims were not going well for C9. There were rumors that you guys were getting kind of stomped. So I guess, yeah, I mean, was there a big conversation at any point this week, or was it just a thing where scrims don't matter, let's go on stage and just crush them?
No, we had a few conversations about what's happening, what mistakes are we doing, how to fix them and stuff, and we tried our best, but Loki was kind of running it down the whole week.
Okay.
No offense to Loki, but he was kind of sprinting it, and we were also playing champs that maybe we're not super good at, because we think they're good and we want to practice them and stuff like that. So yeah, super rough week of scrims. Yesterday we played some scrims, and then after a while we were like, okay, this is not working. Everyone was pretty tilted, so we were like, we're gonna stop here after 3 games, I think. We decided to stop there. We didn't think we would get super good value out of the games. We had half the team sick and stuff, so we decided to just everyone rest, try our best for tomorrow to be in good shape, and then go from there. And well, we can say now that it paid off. If we had lost, maybe some people would be in trouble on our team, whoever made the decision to not scrim,
Yeah.
But now we're vindicated a bit with that decision.
So now that means you guys can take more breaks in the future.
Yeah, so we won't be scrimming, won't be playing solo queue.
G2 vacation style.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay. All right. So you guys did really well today. What did you think of Team Liquid over the course of that match, especially with them bringing in UG and then Umpty at the end? I know there's going to be a lot of conversation about it. So you, as somebody who just faced them, I'm curious about.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be careful against them. It's not like they're really, really bad. But then if you're careful of their draft angles, they pick some weird stuff sometimes, or if their balling has a really good matchup where they can win, they'll squeeze out every advantage they can, and it can be very annoying to play against. But if you pick something that can be fine in lane, and then you get out of lane and you're just careful about the plays that they make, I feel like maybe they're not as strong as last year. Obviously lane swaps not being there, but it also feels in team fights maybe they're not the same tier as Fly for sure, and I guess us. But yeah, they're you have to be careful. We have to think about all their angles, especially the Nico Nocturne game.
Yeah,
it can be quite bad if you don't think about how you're going to play the fights. But I think if you're patient enough, careful enough, I mean, at least for us, I don't know what are they playing? Dignitas? Maybe Dignitas will have a different story, but for us, it's pretty easy.
We have you could go through. It's actually funnier if you go through. This kind of fits the whole shtick of you being sick and us having to sit so far away from each other. Okay, so how confident are you that you guys can win playoffs right now? Because it does feel like FlyQuest looks so dominant right now. I mean, I know yesterday's match was weird. I don't know if you watched that, but given yesterday's match, but also last week's match, etc., what do you think of FlyQuest chances and yours?
Yeah, very hard to gauge. Obviously, we had the super rough series against them recently. Yesterday was a bit confusing, but I do think that Shopify is a lot better than they were, early on in the split or the year. I think they could be like their second or third best team. So, yeah, I think the series is like not that shocking. The fact that the games were close. It was a 3-0, but the games were close. We're all a bit scarred from our week of scrims, so we're not super confident. But obviously today helped.
Yes.
But now we have 2 weeks to prepare, so we'll have to, fix the I want to say a word that I don't think I should say. The griefing. In scrims. Maybe you can think of.
Make sure Loki's not griefing over the next 2 weeks.
Yes, and then we can start figuring out how to get better and stuff.
Yeah, I always thought, over the time that I've done this, I've often felt like having 2 weeks off is actually like a disadvantage. Do you feel that way?
It can be, yeah, because playing on stage, it for sure like helps. I mean, especially if you win on stage, right? If you play on stage and you lose, then unlucky. Thankfully, you know what I mean. But if you play on stage and you win, you get confidence, you get some more, practice on stage. It can help. But in some cases, in this case, when we're sick and we have time to recover, we have time to prepare. I'm very glad that we won and that we have the 2 weeks off. I think it helps in this case. But yeah, maybe Fly won't be super happy that they can't like keep, their momentum and keep going.
Yes.
Because I think for them it would be very advantageous if the playoffs just, kept going and we played super fast.
All right, last questions are the most important. I am leaving from this to go lock in for Clash. It's the first time I'm doing Clash. I play support.
Okay.
So I'm a Blitzcrank one trick, and I'm really worried that they're going to ban out Blitz.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to play a decent amount of Leona, so I'm going to play Leona. I heard Leona seemingly more in meta right now than Blitz. Blitz, I think, has like a less than 50% win rate. So I at least have her as a backup if they ban Blitz. But do you have any tips or recommendations for me right now in terms of support, what I should be valuing, any of that type of stuff?
Just make sure that your team doesn't pick too much AP when you play Leona. Because Mercs are very annoying, right? You can probably feel it. So if they have really good Mercs value, it can be bad. Other than that, if they have like a Braum player, maybe you want to ban it out. Yeah. It can be annoying. Like team fights are going to be hard. He's going to tag you and then you're going to die.
I did notice that was very annoying. Like yesterday I played against a Braum and it was very, very aggravating.
Yeah.
There was, but I normally ban Mel, because Mel is super annoying whenever I play Blitz because she can just hook me into her.
You don't want that.
It's the reverse. So, but maybe I can get my team to both ban Braum and Mel.
Well, if you think that they're going to ban Blitz, you shouldn't ban Mel, like especially if you're starting to get the last ban, because Leona is really good against Mel.
Yeah.
Because you E and then she flies in, right?
Okay.
So maybe
that's
you can
fair.
Try to think about that.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good thought process. See, this is the stuff that I need. Okay. I did Busio. I asked Busio because he was in the audience watching your game, and he said that if they get Merc Treads, what you're supposed to do is like flash QE ult.
Yeah.
Because that actually goes through in a way that like
HCC.
EQ. Yeah. It doesn't work the other way. So that's good advice from you. Anything else you got for me?
Well, earlier in the year, you said that you would keep asking my progress with the Stormlight Archive reading.
Yes. How's that going?
I'm almost there. I'm on book 4.
Okay.
I'm a bit past halfway through, I think. I haven't been reading as much recently. I'll pick that up.
On this,
but I'm almost there.
Okay.
And I'm excited now because I'm like very much into the story. And also book 4, I think I told you this last time, but last time I read it, I had a break between like 1, 2, 3 and then 4.
Yes.
So book 4, I was a bit out of it, but now I'm like, it's back to back. So now I understand what's going on. So I'm appreciating book 4 more.
Yeah.
And then book 5 will be next. So everything's great.
That's right. Because for those that didn't see that interview, I think the plan was that you wanted to reread all of them before you got to 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's a very long, strenuous process.
Yeah.
I've been at it since like December.
4, in my opinion, drags a little bit at times. I don't know if you felt that.
The first time I read it, that was my like big feeling.
Yes.
This time around, it's because like I said, it's more enjoyable. I don't notice it as much, but yeah, there's some chapters, especially on the reread, the throwbacks, like when you go 8 years ago.
Yes.
Those are long.
Yes.
And I'm like, can I please go back to the moment?
Don't. Often the character that those flashbacks are for is
already
not particularly relevant.
Not super relevant.
Yes,
you could
exactly.
Say.
Yes. So I feel you on that. I think that's one of the criticisms people make a lot is Well, either way, thank you for reminding me of that because I did want to keep checking in with you. Anything you want to say to any of the fans out there?
Thank you for cheering for us. Sorry about that last weekend of matches. Hopefully we don't, show such a disgusting performance. But yeah, we'll prepare, as much as we can for Fly in 2 weeks, and hopefully you guys will be there to support us.
And I apologize in advance to Drew, who has to edit this video because the sun keeps coming out from behind a cloud, and so I probably look like you can't see me. I'm just a giant glowing corner of this.
Like Jesus coming.
Vulcan, who's in the something like that. I don't want to. I have some religious viewers, maybe. I don't want to be sacrilegious, but I'm similar in some ways. Thanks so much for watching. You can check out the rest of my coverage of all things LTA right here on my YouTube channel. Real quick, before you click away, I know you're going to click away because now you're at the end and you're like, okay, I can go do something else. No, I wanted to ask you, you don't even have to spend any money. Just follow me on social media. I'm bleeding followers because it's just, that's where League of Legends is these days. You can follow me on Blue Sky, by the way. I know some people want Blue Sky instead of Twitter. There's I don't know if you know, there's a political rift going on in our country and people are picking social media. Either way, I'm on both. So please follow me on Twitter or Blue Sky or Instagram. I'll have some Instagram followers and in LA, you can't get dates if you don't have a big following. So that's cool. You can also become a member of the YouTube channel for just $2.99. And if you do, you get access to exclusive members only videos. You can make me talk about things sometimes I don't really want to talk about.